Hey guys, in this video we're going to create trader widget, which will have a player inventory inside and a trader inventory, and we can just buy and sell items between them. First thing we need to do is go to widgets. Let's create new one, so user interface, widget blueprint, and this one will be trader underscore widget. Open it up. In here we need to add canvas panel. And now for the inventory, we do actually have one created. So let's open the inventory widget and we can just copy the one we created for the player. But before I do that, I want to change something slightly because I do not like my top bar and this gold and weight doesn't fit really well. So you don't have to follow this part, but I'm just going to change it and style it slightly. So it's this border here with the images and gold text and weight text. So for the border I can just change the color, maybe something like that. I'm going to also add my texture that was included in one of the videos. It's the tile, and I'm just going to do tiling both. Make the image size 32 and 32. And now for this text, what I'm going to do is this image is going to be anchored to the left side in the middle. So Control and Shift and click. I'll offset the position to maybe 30. Then the gold text will also be anchored to the left middle and it will be offset by 60. I'll also make it smaller because I think it's quite big. This text will only be 14. Same for this icon, I'm going to make it 25, 25, and text will be 14. Now, this other icon, you can't see it very well because it's size to content. So at the moment, you know, it's turned off, so you can't really tell how big it is, but just follow what I'm doing if you want, and it will all look better after. So let's anchor this one to other side, Control and Shift and click. We will offset it also, but this time minus 30. And this other text will be anchored to that side as well, and will be position minus 60, I think it was. Yeah, 60 and minus 60. Now compile and save, let's have a look. So in the inventory, now I do have this bar on the top, it looks a little bit better. So the icons are fine, but I do want to move the text down, and this one is way too far. Okay, so back in here, this one minus 60, minus 30. Right, this text needs to be justification to right. So it goes from the right side, and let's move the text down by 4, this one by 4, and also that top bar needs some kind of border. So what we can do is that border that wraps it, we're going to wrap it with another border, just so we can have a padding here 0, but the bottom padding will be 1. I'm going to change my outside frame to 1 pixel as well. So here in the padding on the topmost border, I'm going to change it to 1, and I'm just going to remove a frame because I don't really like it for the actual outside frame, only for the icons. So I'm going to reset it and just leave it at 1. Now copy this tint, I'll paste it to that new border, and now when we check it, it does actually look a little bit better. Do have color. I can't really see that texture, so I can also make it a little bit lighter. Doesn't need to be this color, any color you like. But if you make it lighter, the texture will actually look nicer. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there is quite a nice texture there. And now I have changed it, I like it. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to copy the whole inventory, which starts with this border here on the top. Copy it, let's go to trader widget, paste it. Now let's position it to the middle. Just so we can see it better, uncheck the size to content for now. And now let's position X, move it to the 400. So the first one will be player inventory. So this one will be on the right side. So maybe even 500. And now let's duplicate it. So Control and D. And this will anchor to the middle as well, but this one will be minus 500. Now we do have duplicate inventories. The one can be for trader. For trader we don't need a weight, so we can just remove the weight icon and remove the wrong text. So weight text and weight icon, and for renaming we also don't need the inventory switcher because we will only be using that for player. Merchant inventory will have all of the items in the same inventory. So we can just, we can't replace it with a child now because it's a border and there is two borders inside. So what we can do is replace this with, remove this quiver grid with the border, and then on the inventory switcher replace it with child. Okay, that will remove it. Now compile and save. We do have two inventories set up. Now what we need to do is in the graph we will need a reference to the trader that we're actually trading with. So let's do a new variable. This one will be trader reference. It will be type trader, blueprint, object reference, and let's make it instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. And then we also need to build both of those inventories. So remove the pre-construct and tick, go back to inventory. Let's find the build inventory function. We can just copy everything until the completed because we don't need to set this text here. So just copy this part, hold shift, add this, copy it. Let's paste it in a trader. That will create a custom event for us as well. Let's right click on a row, create variable column. And then we do need a player reference as well. So on construct, cast to player blueprint, cast to player blueprint, get player character, and as player promote it to variable called player reference. Now it refreshed it here, so inventory size is the same. Be setting the items from the inventory, everything seems to be fine. Now on completed we need to copy it one more time, but this time without the custom event, because if we created another custom event to create the trader inventory and we would run it on the beginning, obviously we're only using one variable, so it might happen that those variables go up because two functions run at the same time. So what we're going to do instead is connect it to onCompleted. So once the first inventory completes, we're going to create the second one. And now we do have a trader reference. So what we can do is we can actually remove this part and set the inventory manually. If you like, you can promote it to variable, which will be trader reference, but I'll always have whatever slot we have in the player inventory at the moment. So if I check in a player blueprint, inventory size is 36, so that's what I'm going to have for my traders. So last index will be 35 because it starts with 0. And now here we get the trader reference. We do have inventory created already from the previous video, so we can get trader inventory and connect it to get and connect it to length. We setting the row to 1 and column to 1 as well, so that's all good. Compile and save. And now we just need to call build inventory here when we are constructed. Now let's open the trader blueprint. So trader, and in here we need to just get our interact. And when we interact, we can create widget. Widget will be the trader. Trader reference will set to self. So we can get this inventory from us. And then after we'll add to viewport. And that is all. So once we interact with the trader, it will create the inventory. A few issues that we will have, but let's just have a look if that actually works. I believe that I haven't set this set trader inventory on begin place, so we need to do it here. Just set trader inventory. So as soon as the game starts and the trader is spawned, it will set its inventory from what have we actually set on the trader in the details here. So we got these items to sell. I only got iron sword and a diamond dust. So once we have set that, we open the inventory. All right, let's go play the game. Go to trader, trade, and as you can see, I have player inventory created, but that one is actually giving me the trader items, and that is because I haven't changed the grid that I'm adding it to. So inside the trader widget, in the second one here on completed, we need to change this inventory grid to inventory grid 1. Also here, just target, and we haven't turned on the size to content, so on this top border, size to content, and on this one as well, size to content. Perfect. Now we got 2 inventories, and as you can see, I do have a merchant items. I can't close it yet, so I can just reopen the inventory and it will refresh it, but obviously I keep opening more and more inventories on top of each other. Can't really see it happening because we don't have any background, but if we were to, let's just rename this border to play inventory box, and the second one will be trader inventory box. It doesn't need to be variable, but just so we know what it is, we can close this now, and we'll just add image, which will be background image, and we will resize it to the whole thing. Z order will be -1, and we can change the tint to something like this, 0.7, so we can see what's happening behind it. And now if you open the inventory, and if I open it again, you can see my background is getting darker, and that is because I just keep opening the inventory. And also another issue is that, you know, I can move, I can go far away. It's just not really nice thing to do. So what we need to do is disable input, and the way we're going to do that is in the trader blueprint. I'm going to move it here. So in the trader blueprint, once we open the trader widget, we're going to set input mode to UI only. It will take this widget as in widget in focus. And for player controller, we need to get player controller. We'll also flash input, because if we don't and you keep running forward and then you open inventory trader, it will keep running even though we can only use keys inside the UI. So flash input, compile and save, and then one more thing we need to do from player controller, we'll set mouse, show mouse cursor to true. Compile and save. And so that will disable the input for a player. Now if I try to move, I can't move the camera behind or anything like that. But now I can't close the inventory either or anything. So what we can do is inside the trader widget, we're going to make an exception here. In the function, we'll override on key down, and we have done this before. What we're going to do is get a key, so get key, and if that key equals E in my case, so keyboard E, then we can close the inventory. So connect it here. If you want to start setting up the buttons for, let's say, controller or anything, this is where you would do it. You would do or boolean, and then you would search for I don't know, gamepad, gamepad key, but in this one, so you would just search for whatever is on the gamepad, okay, and select that, and then it would select if someone presses the key on the keyboard or the gamepad key, then it closes the trader. But for now, I'm just leaving it like this. And if it's true, we need a new custom event. So you can just create it here, which will be custom event and destroy self. And what we need to do is remove from parent. After that, we do need to add delay, only very short one. I'll explain in a minute. So we'll add delay, and after that we will set input mode to game only, which was the mode before. And we don't have to flash the input here, but we need to get the player controller. And what happens is if you don't add the delay, sometimes it takes the same key press because it removes this widget, it destroys it very quickly, and then it acts as you have pressed the key already, so it opens it again because we are interacting with it again, okay? If you add a delay, that won't happen. So now we just need to call it on key down. If it's true, then we destroy self custom event. And we can also place the return node. If you compile it, it won't let you. We need to make event reply and do it on false as well. And now only if we press E on a keyboard we can close the widget. Nothing else will work, only the mouse. So we can sell and buy items, but no other shortcuts. Then later on we can add the exceptions if you want to use something else. And now I open the trader, I can't move, I press E, it doesn't actually close my inventory. Let's see what I've done wrong. On key down, E, destroy self, true, make event reply. Remove from parent self. Build inventory self. Seems to be all good. widget in focus. Maybe that's because we haven't set the focus of the widget. So here when we open in the trader BP, when we open the trader widget, let's also set, oh, we can do it in the beginning in the trader. It's going to be easier. On the beginning here, set is focusable. And check through. That will give it a focus, so we don't have to click on the actual widget to do something. And this should work now. But just in case, let me check if this onKey event is running properly. So I'll do print string here. Now if I open, I close, okay, it runs fine. And you can see I also still have a mouse because we haven't switched it off. And if I press anything else on a keyboard, you can see I'm getting hello because the onKey down runs, but it blocks any other input. So I wouldn't be able to, do anything else with the shortcuts. So now let's also turn off the mouse. So after we close the inventory in trader widget, here we need to drag from player controller and set mouse, show mouse cursor, and turn it off. Compile and save. And now one more thing we can do is actually set the trader gold and play gold and await. So for player weight, we do have it in the inventory. Actually, I think this was this part, we could have copied it. Gold text, weight text. So let's copy this part as well. Copy, go back to trader widget, paste it all the way here on the bottom. Display stats do nothing. On completed of the build trader inventory, we will also set text, which is gold. Here we need to get player reference, get stats component, and connect it. Oh wait, I did copy it. What was the error? Display stats. Display stats and build quiver. We're not going to do that just yet. We're just going to set gold and gold text and weight text. We do have, so gold text is fine, weight text is the same because we copied it. And for trader, we're going to set this text to trader gold text. And what we can also do in the trader, we need to set up new variable, which will be gold amount. It will be integer. And we can make it instance editable and expose on spawn, so we can set it for each merchant. And I'm also going to make a default value of 1000. So in case we forget, all merchants will have at least 1000 gold. And then here you can see it, you got gold amount after you set the items. So if I do 10,000, he will have 10,000. And inside trader widget now, we'll set it, so we will get the merchant trader gold text, set text, and we need to get a trader reference, get gold, gold amount, and connect it there. Now if I open it, I do have a merchant gold, and I do have a player gold and weight correctly. I can close it, I can pick up some items. It will always refresh. Right. And that is actually all we have to do in this video. So in next one, we will set up the new icon, because we can't be generating the player icon, the inventory icon that we have, because if you click on any of the items, it will try to equip them and it will throw you a lot of errors at the moment. Okay, so we'll create a different one that will be a buy and sell icon. So when we press on the merchant inventory, we'll be buying stuff. When we press on the player inventory, we'll be selling stuff, and also displaying different prices. And then obviously we'll do the slider widget as well. Okay, so until the next one then. Bye.